Episode 205, Arrival at Tristardom. The Oathkeeper pierced the veil of silver mist as dawn unfolded into brilliance. Before them stretched a panorama that no mortal chart had ever recorded, a realm where light itself seemed domesticated. Crystalline towers rose from the mirror seas, each refracting the newborn sun into cascades of spectral fire. The horizon gleamed like a blade forged in eternity, cutting through the thin barrier between heaven and water. The air pulsed with harmonic resonance, a vibration that coursed through hulls and hearts alike. The fleet slowed, each vessel drifting into silent formation as if compelled by reverence. At the bow, Rennz Sundæg stood motionless, his eyes reflecting the empire that shimmered ahead. Sereveth's voice rippled through the comms, calm, commanding, radiant. "Welcome to the Dominion of Flame," she declared, and every syllable carried both grace and warning. The fleet's engines dulled to a hum. Massive anchor chains unraveled like silver serpents, plunging into the liquid mirror below. The seas caught each link in a slow embrace, glowing faintly where metal met water. Around them, the atmosphere was alive with energy fields, filaments of plasma and light arcing between unseen beacons. It was as though the entire world was a breathing construct, an organism of crystal and current. Sereveth floated above the deck, her wings translucent yet edged with molten gold. She was no longer the enigmatic wanderer Rennz once distrusted, but an emissary of divine hierarchy. Even the air around her bent slightly, a sign of dominion. Rennz's crew stood transfixed. Miri Voan, her hand resting upon the pulsating compass, felt the alignment of two realms within her chest. The device no longer mapped distance, it mapped faith. "This world is conscious," she whispered. The compass throbbed in double rhythm, syncing to the very heartbeat of the city before them. Rennz nodded faintly. "Then we must tread as if upon sacred ground." His voice was steady, yet within him a storm brewed. The kingdom's grandeur cloaked an unseen force, one he sensed not with his mind, but his marrow. From the eastern horizon, fleets of airborne vessels approached, sleek metallic wings slicing through light. Their hulls bore sigils of gold and azure, insignias pulsing in time with Sereveth's aura. Royal emissaries stood upon their decks, armored in radiant ceramite, their helms shaped like phoenix heads. One by one, they circled the Oathkeeper and its companions in a spiral of ceremony. A sonorous chant reverberated through the atmosphere, deep enough to vibrate bone. Then, through the shimmering haze, a single figure descended. He was tall, clothed in a mantle of refracted flame, his presence both regal and suffocating. His voice resonated across every frequency. By decree of the Eternal Court of Tristardom, the fleet of the Outer Flame is granted passage and honor. He bowed to Sereveth with measured precision, then turned toward Rennz. "Captain of the Oathkeeper, you have crossed the Silver Passage unbroken. The Dominion welcomes your obedience." Rennz's salute was deliberate, neither submissive nor defiant. The Oathkeeper serves truth before command. The emissary's eyes glinted, and a faint smirk crossed his face. "Then you will find truth abundant here." With a flick of his wrist, streams of light wove between the fleet's ships, forming a luminous corridor toward the capital. It was a path both ceremonial and binding. The fleet followed, drawn like iron to magnetism. As they advanced, the waters beneath them reflected not their hulls but visions, images of their past voyages, their battles, their oaths. The crew watched in uneasy silence as memories replayed beneath their keels, projected by some vast intelligence woven into the sea itself. Miri's reflection showed her in two forms, one of the present and another cloaked in fire, her eyes glowing with ancient memory. Sereveth drifted beside her, voice softened by familiarity. "Tristardom shows what you have hidden from yourselves. It believes in unveiling as the first step to union." When they reached the outer docks, reality shifted once more. The docks were living things, massive roots of crystal extending into the sea, wrapping each vessel with luminescent tendrils that stabilized and powered them. The sensation was alien yet serene, like being held by something both mechanical and maternal. Crowds had gathered along the shorelines, thousands of citizens clad in shimmering robes, their skin faintly luminous. They raised their arms as one, chanting the same name, "Oathkeeper, Oathkeeper." The chorus struck Rennz like a wave. He felt both humbled and haunted. The people of this realm should not have known them, yet they did. It was as if the legend of the Oathkeeper had been written into their cosmology long before his arrival. He turned toward Saraveth, suspicion sharpening in his tone. They know us. Why? Saraveth's expression was unreadable, her wings folding behind her. Because you were foreseen. Every flame here burns upon prophecy. The royal platform extended from the central tower, a colossus of pure crystal spiraling into the heavens, crowned by a sphere of contained solar energy. From within emerged a procession of mages, their robes swirling like smoke woven from light. They bore instruments resembling astrolabes and compasses, yet their movements conducted invisible symphonies through the air. One mage stepped forward, her hair the color of dawn. She bowed low to Saraveth. The covenant returns fulfilled. The Dominion remembers. Her gaze then turned to Rennz. And so does the Flamekeeper of the Oath. Whispers rippled through the crew. Rennz's jaw tightened. Flamekeeper? He echoed. Saraveth approached, her voice like calm fire. It is not merely title. It is truth deferred. She raised her hand toward the vast crystalline city. Tristardom has awaited the return of the one who would reignite the balance between worlds. The compass in Miri's hands pulsed violently, reacting to unseen forces. The air thickened with expectancy, as though the entire realm leaned closer to listen. Rennz turned toward his ship. Crew, secure all systems. Maintain formation. No one disembarks without my order. His voice carried over the decks with command precision. Yet beneath the tone, there was awe he could not conceal. The world around him was both divine and disquieting. The very sky shimmered with encoded constellations. Every star above pulsed like a living heart. The royal emissary gestured toward the capital gates, two titanic structures of fused light and matter. As they parted, an inner radiance spilled outward, revealing a city that seemed carved from time itself. Rivers of molten silver flowed between elevated streets. Bridges hovered, sustained by harmonic frequencies. At the city's core, a monolith burned, an eternal flame bound within crystal, said to be the heart of the first phoenix. Tristardom's core, Saraveth murmured, the flame that governs all worlds connected by the covenant. As they entered, waves of sound cascaded from hidden choirs, blending human voice with crystalline resonance. Rennz's heartbeat matched the rhythm of the world itself. He felt as if he were being rewritten, as though each step across the deck drew him further from the man he once was. Beside him, Miri whispered, "We've crossed into the memory of creation." When the fleet finally anchored before the flame citadel, the sun dimmed as though bowing. Saraveth turned, her eyes now reflecting molten cores. "The trials ahead will not test your strength, Captain. They will test your surrender." Her wings folded, and with one graceful motion, she descended toward the citadel, her figure swallowed by radiance. Rennz followed her descent until she vanished. Silence hung heavy across the Oathkeeper. The chant of the people continued far below, echoing against the mirrored sea. Rennz turned to his crew, his voice low yet resolute. "We've arrived where myths are born. But remember, every paradise demands its price." The compass flickered once more, projecting a symbol across the deck. A circle of flame intersected by a rising star. It pulsed like a heartbeat, binding them to destiny's pulse. The fleet's lights dimmed in unison, synchronizing with the rhythm of Tristardom itself. Miri's voice trembled, caught between reverence and fear. "Captain, I think we've entered a world that remembers us better than we remember ourselves." Rennz watched the citadel's glow dance across the Oathkeeper's hull. Then it's time we remember why. The seas were calm, but beneath the mirrored surface, vast shadows stirred, ancient, patient, and waiting for recognition. And as night fell over Tristardom, the Dominion of Flame whispered his name through every glowing tower. Sundæg, the Keeper of Oaths, returned to fulfill what was once broken. The horizon shimmered once again, not with dawn, but with destiny awakening. Step beyond the edge of the ordinary, where the seas shimmer with forgotten magic and destiny burns with the light of 1,000 suns. Enter the worlds of Hummingbird Secret Flame and Drestar, Dragon's Awakening, crafted by Captain Rennz, stories where hearts ignite, legends breathe, and silence remembers your name. Now streaming live on Pocket FM. Subscribe, like, and share to OceanHeap on YouTube, where knowledge and fun converge.